We often see the end results, don't we? The big successes, the awards, the finished projects. But what about everything that happens before that? The hidden work, the silent grind, the sacrifices people make, the moments of just pure grit that, well, they never make the headlines. Today, we're actually going to try and pull back the curtain on that exact kind of journey. Welcome to the deep dive. For this deep dive, we're looking at a really interesting YouTube channel called Desi Hustler, specifically a clip from a video titled The Real Hustle Story. And it features this really powerful voice of someone named Fatima. Our goal today is to kind of unpack the insights in her perspective. It's about hard work, perseverance, building something no matter what. And let me tell you, this isn't your typical motivational talk. It feels much more like a raw, lived philosophy, very grounded.
It really does. What hits you immediately is how grounded it is.
Yeah.
It's a tangible experience. Her voice, it just has this authenticity. It avoids all those common self-help cliches. Yes, it's about resilience, but maybe more deeply, it's about learning through doing.
Yeah.
Experiential learning.
Mm-hmm.
So this deep dive, we're really going to get into what it means to hustle from someone who's clearly lived it. It feels universal, but also deeply personal.
Absolutely. Let's jump right into her opening. It really sets that genuine tone straight away. She starts so directly, Assalamu alaikum, I am Fatima, and this is my voice. Like she's right there with you, and then boom, this line. Every effort has a story. But she immediately makes it personal. My story is built on courage, struggle, and never giving up. What does that immediate declaration, that personal connection, signal to you?
Oh, it's incredibly effective. It kind of lowers your guard instantly, doesn't it? The appeal is universal. Everyone, regardless of background, gets that idea. Effort, real effort, isn't just getting things done. It builds a narrative. And she tells you her narrative ingredients: courage, struggle, persistence. It's not just a casual remark. It's saying, look, real success stories, they're almost always woven with grit, with pushing through tough times. It directly challenges that, myth of overnight success. The journey is the story.
And she draws this sharp line right after, which I found really interesting. She says very clearly, this is not a story, this is real life. We live in this age of curated feeds and personal brands, right? Idealized stories everywhere. What's the risk of blurring that line between story and reality? And what does Fatima's stance offer someone looking for, well, genuine insight?
That distinction is just crucial. Absolutely critical. It gets right to the heart of genuine insight. When she says this is not a story, this is real life, she's pushing back against any kind of embellishment, any airbrushing. It's a deliberate step away from those polished narratives that, sound nice but lack the messy truth of actual experience. The danger. Well, blurring that line sets up totally unrealistic expectations. Makes people think success is smooth or easy. Fatima's stance. It offers this radical honesty. She's telling you up front, what you're about to hear isn't fantasy. It's practical, lived reality forged in, reality. That's where the real lessons are found, right? Facing the unvarnished truth.
That's such a key shift, isn't it? From the romantic idea to the sometimes, brutal reality. And she goes right into how that real-life education happened for her. She describes this really tough process, saying, I learned after waking up early in the morning, sacrificing countless hours of sleep and facing failures.
Yeah.
When you hear phrases like countless hours of sleep, facing failures, what does that tell you about her commitment, about how she learned?
It screams deep commitment and a very specific way of learning. It brings up sacrifice, right? Real progress often has a steep personal cost. And crucially, it normalizes failure. Failures is just inevitable in anything big. But here's the really insightful part. She emphasizes learning from it. She doesn't just list failures as bad things. She immediately says, but every failure gave me a new lesson. That's not just being tough. It's demonstrating a growth mindset, as psychologists call it. She's actively mining the data from setbacks. She reframes them. They're not dead ends. They're iterations, course corrections. It's that active transformation of hardship that separates real grit from just being stubborn. It's about reflecting, adapting, using setbacks strategically, not reasons to stop.
Which leads perfectly into this next idea she raises, which I found really powerful. This is about moving forward even when no one is watching. That specific part, even when no one is watching. Wow. Especially today when everything feels like it needs public validation. What does that unseen hustle, that private drive, really mean for someone playing the long game?
Oh, the implications are huge, profound, really. It points straight to intrinsic motivation, deep personal discipline. In a world obsessed with likes, shares, public praise, Fatima's focus on the unseen work challenges that entire premise. When there's no audience, no applause. That's the real test of commitment. It highlights this kind of radical self-reliance. It suggests the biggest breakthroughs, the most significant growth, that often happens alone, driven by your own internal engine, not external pats on the back. If you connect it to the bigger picture, it means the real foundation of success is built in those quiet, consistent moments, when the only person holding you accountable is you. That's where character is built, where true commitment shows itself, far from any spotlight.
Exactly. That internal compass that keeps you going when things are quiet. And that connects to how she describes her starting point and her approach. She says, this is about starting from zero and doing whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Starting from zero is already huge, right? But adding, doing whatever it takes, that feels incredibly bold, maybe even a bit scary. What does that signal to you? Mindset, strategy.
Well, starting from zero, that speaks volumes about courage and innate resourcefulness, I think.
Mm.
It means you're not leaning on advantages, connections, inheritances. You're building from scratch.
Yeah.
Your vision and your effort are your only capital. And doing whatever it takes, yeah, it's strong language. But I don't think it means being reckless or unethical. To me, it signals pure, unshakable commitment to the goal. It means being radically adaptable, relentlessly tenacious. A mindset that says, okay, this obstacle, I will find a way around it, over it, through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's about using every single resource you have, especially your own creativity and grit, to overcome whatever comes up.
And what really stood out for me was where she says her wisdom comes from, her source. She explicitly states, I speak not from books, but from my experience.
We're swimming in advice, right? Online courses, theories, frameworks everywhere. What's the unique value you see in her emphasis on direct, practical experience being the ultimate teacher? That statement is such a powerful claim for the value of lived experience over just theory. It shows this deep respect for what you might call tacit knowledge, the stuff you can only learn by doing. Through trial and error, through navigating the messy reality of the real world, Fatima's basically saying, yeah, books give you ideas, frameworks maybe, but the real insights, the nuanced understanding of what actually works, that comes from the trenches, from the battlefield of life, not the classroom. And it makes you ask, okay, what insights can you only get from getting your hands dirty, from the failures and adaptations of real application? And then she gives those concrete examples, which really drives it home. She says, I spent time in the streets, traveled the world, did countless businesses, and learned lessons. These aren't abstract things. They're tangible, gritty even. Time in the streets teaches you observation, maybe street smarts. World travel broadens perspective, forces adaptability. Countless businesses, that's direct engagement with markets, customers, commerce. The hard realities. That's where her wisdom was forged. It wasn't borrowed, it was earned.
And bringing this whole thing back around, it's worth noting the channel's name again, Desi Hustler. Fatima offers this direct welcome, an invitation. Welcome to Desi Hustler, where real stories and real effort are found.
Yeah, that name and that welcome, they immediately suggest community, don't they? It's positioned not just as content, but as a place. A digital gathering spot for people who connect with that whole ethos of authenticity and hard work and the focus on real stories and real effort. That's a clear contrast to the curated, maybe less genuine stuff you often see online. It's like a promise. Here you'll find transparency, real grind, a signal to those looking for something more substantial.
And she finishes that thought with this direct address, which speaks right to our listener, I think. If you are here, you are not afraid of hard work. It feels like a bit of a challenge almost. What does that statement suggest about the community she's building, the mindset?
It works on multiple levels, doesn't it? It's an observation, maybe, but also a call to action. It functions like a badge of identity for people who value diligence, perseverance. It's more than just welcome. It's like saying, you fit here if you get it. If you embrace the grind, the unseen effort we talked about, it creates belonging for those genuinely committed to the work. Almost like a filter, you know? It implicitly pushes away anyone looking for shortcuts, for easy wins, and it draws in people who understand that success is earned, that effort is the journey.
So if we boil down what we've explored in Fatima's philosophy, it's really this raw testament to courage and struggle being fundamental. She shows us how powerful it is to actively learn from every failure, to keep going even when no one's clapping, and underlines that profound, irreplaceable value of lived experience over just theory. It's like a gritty but really sophisticated guide to building resilience.
Absolutely. And as you, the listener, think about Fatima's insights. Maybe consider how these ideas apply to you, this real-life hustle. Starting from zero, learning from experience, embracing the grind. How does that map onto your own goals, your own field or passion? Think about those parts of your journey that need that unseen effort, those moments you're pushing forward without anyone noticing.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. If every effort truly tells a story, What are the hitting stories of resilience, of breakthrough that you're writing right now, in those quiet moments? What's the unseen chapter you're adding to your own journey, the depth of which only you really know?